Hello again. Welcome to Receptive Radio, Thursday, February 26th. I go live. My name's Jennifer Seifert every Thursday at 12:30 p.m. Pacific time, 3:30 Eastern Standard Time. So make a note of that and like, subscribe, or comment. If you subscribe, you'll get notified that I'm going live on Thursdays, and you can tune in while you're eating your lunch, if you're in Pacific time, or while you're taking your coffee break in Eastern Standard Time or any other time zone. And I am an activator. I'm now a #1 international best-selling author for Modern Day High Priestess, multi-author book that I led and was the visionary for. And I help spiritual entrepreneurs, purpose-led entrepreneurs, the game changers. And my friend Kirsten is even calling them keystone leaders now. Just putting that out into the field, a new term for you. Powerful people who know you're meant for more, but maybe you're not getting the results that you want and you're wondering why. I help you get through those things. And recently, in January, I led my first summit, Activate Your Prosperous Life, and it was so expanding. And that's why I keep talking about this expansion process, because it is significant. And today is the topic, the theme is From Scarcity to Sovereignty, how to stabilize your nervous system after breakthrough. And then now what? Like, have you ever really went into a big project, doubled down, spent a lot of energy in it, felt spacious, felt like, wow, this is something I love to do. And there was a really good response, and you had community created, and then it ends and you don't have to put in all that energy anymore. You don't have to show up at certain times every day. And you're like, well, what do I do with myself now? I have been feeling that, and I'm sharing with you what's been happening in the last few episodes since for this month, basically February. And breakthroughs are not about strategy. They're about going deeper. They're about going within and noticing what's coming up for you. And I mention this a lot. I talk about noticing. Noticing is the pathway to awareness, more greater self-awareness, greater self-observation. And it's you could say it's a strategy, but it's actually a life principle. It's something that if you got really good at it, you just expand naturally. Your consciousness expands if you keep practicing. And if you've been watching Receptive Radio or following me, I talk about practice a lot. I talk about discipline and devotion and dedication and perseverance and not giving up. Because we're going to go through things when we're an entrepreneur. Entrepreneurship is off the grid. I've been downloading this lately. Entrepreneurship is something that is off the grid from mainstream employee boss kind of reality. Being an entrepreneur is not in that dimension. It's a different dimension. And it gets you to go deep, and stuff happens when you're an entrepreneur that calls on your personal life, not just your business life. And when you're an entrepreneur, sometimes you might feel like you're working all the time because it's your creation, it's your business. And you might be ignoring the personal things that come up or ignoring the deeper work that's rising to the surface. And it's so critical that you don't ignore it. And it's about really going deeper into that, because it's coming up to the surface to make you a better person, to grow your business, to help you thrive. So I'm still talking about Activate Your Prosperous Life. I'm opening up the VIP expansion series experience right now. And what I'm doing is I'm offering the complete portal with 33 summit interviews that are very high frequency. They're offering transmission. You get access to their VIP gifts and their free gifts as long as they're still active. And you also get a 1 month free membership in Life Force Activation, whereas the practice work, that's this practice studio, the live studio I guide. But the real bonus in this opening up that I'm offering right now is 3 live laser coaching group rooms, prosperity rooms, where you can bring your business, your personal life, your relationships, your spiritual journey into that room and get your questions answered and go deeper 3 times. So the first one is starting March 4th. And I'd love to see you there. And I will be putting the link. They might see the link in the description right now, but I'll also be adding it in the comments. I can also put it up here on the screen for a little bit. It is $97 to enter this portal, but it's worth $10,000. And when you pay for support, you get the full answer. When you go to free things, and I've been going to free things too. You're not the only one that goes to a free event or a free webinar or something like that. There's only partial answers in there. So if you've been in the habit of going to multiple free things to try and get the full answer, you're going to have like a mismatched, misjumbled kind of result because you won't have the full answer. But in these 3 prosperity rooms in March, I will give you the full answer to the best of my ability. And I have a background in business, a background in accounting, a designation in chartered professional accounting background, leadership background. I've led many entrepreneurs and staff. I also have been running my own business since 2010. And I also have a shamanic path that I've been guiding myself through since I was 20 and others through. And so I come from a different angles, and I was born in a horse racing family, which is an entrepreneur-based sport. And to go deeper into this topic right now about your breakthrough that you're going through, you're wanting to have a breakthrough. Well, I want to prepare you. When you do have a breakthrough, you expand. You expand in spaciousness, in brightness, in radiance, in magnetism, in prosperity, in connections and community. You expand. But there's another side to this story of expansion. There's contraction is the shadow side. And the other side of prosperity is scarcity. And so since I opened the portal in January, literally, I am an activator. I do open portals is what I've noticed, is activate your prosperous life, not just for the participants, but for me and the speakers as well. Open something up. And it opened something up in the field. And the shadow side of prosperity is scarcity. So in order to navigate prosperity, we have to look at where we're scarce, where scarcity is coming up. It's not always about money. It could be about not feeling good enough, your self-worth, being valuable, being competitive, proving your energy, proving yourself, proving your worth, all things that circle around being a leader. And you might even think, well, I've already dealt with that. Well, there's layers to it. And I'm feeling the layer of it, and I'm going to share a story about it. But when you want to go to the next level, there's also a next level of the other side of that shadow, the light shadow, prosperity, the dark shadow, scarcity, or vice versa. And there's integration that's required. We live in a dual polarity universe. So there's always this integration that we have to notice and pay attention to when we're opening up next level expansion for ourselves. And the expansion increases your light, the spaciousness, but it also brings up that energetic patterning that you might have experienced as a child, the subconscious programs that you're hooked into and you didn't realize, your blind spots. You might even get into more fights or arguments with people. You might feel like you're pushing people away as other people are coming closer. Things will happen when you expand that you might not be expecting. Or you're ignoring them and you're not connecting the dots of what you're going through. So expansion is a process and it requires integration. And so before you jump to that next big thing that you're creating, hold here. Stabilize your nervous system to hold greater capacity. And the body communicates to us, but we have to take time to listen to the body and not ignore signals. And there's tons of signals that we could be paying attention to: feelings, thoughts, pains, aches, energy. And we can notice these things in our habits and in our connections with other people, things that irritate us, things that come up out of the blue and you're like, what the hell did that come to? So recently, and it also could be mirrored in your environment, what you're going through. So I live on an acreage now, and we are going into the building process. And when we first moved here, it's beautiful. It has forest and trees and rhododendrons and all types of year-long flowering plant species. I live in BC, the Greater Vancouver area, and it's a rainforest basically, so it can be green all year round and things flower all year round. But so we have been cleaning up all of the clutter, all the sucker plants, all of the plants that are taking up space in the wrong places for us to expand and build. And so there has been, for the last 2.5 weeks, a land excavator going on. You might even hear it in the background, this hum, this vibration. I've been feeling it for a few weeks. And it's been cleaning it up. It's been taking out all of the brush that isn't, and really exposing the roots of the trees and the trunks of the trees and the majesty of the trees. I couldn't see the trees' full beauty before because there was a lot of sucker plants going around. And it's even exposing the neighbors more. Didn't see them before. And so privacy is getting like opened up. Like I'm feeling exposed. And you might feel exposed too, like you're doing something big, and visibility and imposter syndrome and that could be coming up. It's like, oh, you get really vulnerable. And in the shamanic perspective, this is like a mirror for me. Okay, I've opened up all this space, and then so you have more space, right? Well, how do you navigate it if you're used to feeling the clutter? If you're used to being busy all the time, if you're used to holding a big container and for a whole month and being busy all the time and being on, and then when you don't need to be that on and you have all this extra space with yourself, where do you put your energy? Where do you put your focus? It can be extremely destabilizing. And I have been navigating that recalibration period where my nervous system is expanding to hold more prosperity and abundance and bigger containers, bigger groups of people, which I definitely had evidence for that I can do and testimonials to back that up from the summit. And it also brings up more of that. It's been bringing up those old patterns that I thought I had already worked out. And energies that I wasn't even aware that were in my field. So here's a shamanic bent story, because I'm a shaman. I practice deep meditation, expanded awareness and that. And when you get really busy in something, you can not notice things in your field, like because your focus is somewhere else. So you have to really go inside to see what's going on. I was doing a meditation yesterday after working, all day. It was the end of the day, and I decided before dinner to just lie down and do a meditation. I was feeling tired all of a sudden, so I listened to my body's cue. Okay, I listened to that I was feeling tired, and there was construction still going on, and I thought I'll just go lay down with my headphones on so I don't have to listen to it. And I did a hypnosis meditation, guided meditation. And while I was in there, and the weird part of it was there's two weird things, or three. I started it and did the the warm up part of it to get down deeper into deeper consciousness. Then it stopped. So I had to come out and press the play button again. It started where I stopped it, and then it stopped again. And so then when I hit play, it went back to almost the beginning and started me over. So I just went with it. And when I started going deeper and deeper, it didn't stop again. It went all the way through. I started seeing things in my field that I hadn't seen before, never seen before. I was seeing people in my field, really, walking by, or even standing right beside me. I didn't freak out or anything like that. And I was noticing it in color. I was noticing in color behind my closed eyes. And I'm being really vulnerable with you too. Maybe you listen to this and you're like, wow, she's weird or whatever. But I've never experienced this before, but I just was noticing it. And so I went with it. I didn't know what it was. So I just kept doing the meditation. And then I ended up dozing off, and hour and a half later woke up or whatever, made dinner. Then I was, in a different space, and I didn't even realize that I was feeling angry. My partner was picking up. He's like, why are you so angry? And I was like, I'm not angry. But he was picking up that I was feeling really angry with the tone of my voice, but I didn't notice it. I couldn't hear it myself. He was saying from how he was hearing me. And then I went to bed, and this morning I decided to pull an oracle card. I pulled the Kuan Yin oracle card. So oracle deck card. And I ended up pulling this card that said, it was called Gate of Heaven. And it said that sometimes when you're expanding and your light is growing really bright, spirits or entities or elementals notice that. And instead of going to the bigger light and passing on, they come to your light. And they don't know, they're coming to you for safety, right? And I have a lot of protection practices under my belt for the last 30 years. It's one of my things that I'm a master at, boundaries and that. And so I found out very weird, but also interesting that, because I feel like I'm lighter, I am bigger in space. I feel brighter. I noticed it, that all this spaciousness and expansion as being more radiant and magnetic. And I thought, oh, that's interesting. But that's exactly what I saw the day before. That was exactly what I saw in my meditation, was this, people in my field. And so luckily that card had a little process around clearing that energy. So I did that right away. And I did a few other things and did some clearing for me, because that's what I do. I clear energies. And so the practitioner needs to practice on themselves, plus also get other people to help them. And so the mentor always has a mentor, and the student is, and the teacher, that's a multi-levered layer. There's no reason anyone shouldn't have a mentor. and so I did some of that work myself. I'll get somebody else to check me out and make sure everything's cleaned up, or I'll go down for meditation and make sure I'm cleaned up. But I just wanted to share that story with you because when you're expanding, other things will come up. And if you just rush right into the next thing without integrating your expansion and holding with it and like sitting with it and being with it and noticing yourself for what is happening and what is taking place in your body, your mind, your heart, your energy, in your relationships. And maybe you're noticing things that are not money related so much, but they're like old patterning that you thought you already dealt with, or maybe you've never dealt with it. And now you're noticing it for the first time. It's critical to go deeper into it. It's critical to go deeper into it. And that's part of the specialty of the work I do. I go deep. You got to go deep with me if you're working with me, because that's where I can really help. And I have experience with it because I'm a deep person. I'm a Scorpio. I go deep. And I said at the beginning, I was opening up these VIP prosperity rooms, 3 of them with the release of the portal again, which is so valuable. It's so valuable. And I have so many testimonials from the speakers, from participants saying that this was an amazing summit. It's one of the summits that you've never, they're a dime a dozen. One of the testimonials was that summits are a dime a dozen, but this one's different. That's one of the testimonials that I have. And so I'm re-releasing the VIP portal again. It's $97. And these 3 prosperity group coaching, laser leadership rooms, laser prosperity rooms, are where you can go deep and receive high value answers, solutions, and then get the result that you want by taking action on that answer. And so love to see you there and join us and come into this community and experience the activating your prosperous life process so you can release those old scarcity programs. You can move into greater wealth, health, freedom, relationships, living a more prosperous life in 2026 and beyond. This is something the whole world needs to work on. If you turn on the outer news lately, it's a lot about not enough, taxes, tariffs, whatever it is. There's more than enough. We were born with more than enough. We were born with all of our gifts. And this other gift that expansion offers to you is you might have gifts you didn't even know you had, like seeing things in your field. Maybe that's never happened. That's never happened to me before. And maybe there's a gift there. Maybe there's my intuition is even expanding. My clairvoyance, my clairaudience, my, all the clairs are expanding. My intuitive guidance system is expanding. So you don't just expand in wealth, you expand in all ways. And so I'd love to see you at the VIP rooms and in the portal and be your guide. So have a great day. I'll see you next Thursday at 12:30 p.m. Pacific time, 3:30 Eastern Standard Time for Receptive Radio.